So today I am working on a 2012 Honda Civic. I recently put in a new battery about a month or two ago. The temperatures here in Jersey dropped to like 10 degrees. But I recently noticed this is my wife's car, that it's been having a hard time cranking, so I brought it to a local auto parts store. They checked the alternator twice and the alternator is bad. This is the original alternator and the car has got about 160,000 miles on it. So I got a one from Napa. I'm guessing it's a remanufactured. I was looking to get a new one, but they're like 500 bucks. This one, after I send in the core, is like 250, so it's half the price in its lifetime. So if any issues, I can always bring it back. But I also got a new belt. Not sure if I'm going to do the belt today because of timing and whatnot, but I'm at least definitely do the alternator and go from there. So again, original alternator. This 2012 Honda, under 60,000 on it. 1.8 liter, I believe this engine is, and that's what we got. So we're gonna go through the whole process here. It's not too difficult. You got your this little bar down here. If you can see it, it's right here. You put a 19 mil on that. You lift it up. You pull on it towards the. I think you pull it this way. We'll find out because I haven't done an alternator in this car before. And then you take all your connections off here. You got a sensor here. Plug in there, heat shield, and then it connects also over here with this wire harness connection. So all this come off, pop it out, good to go. Well, I'm going to show you step by step what I'm doing here, so stay tuned. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to disconnect the battery. Is it, I believe, a 10 mil? Yeah, 10 mil. This, at least disconnect the negative here. You don't have to do the positive. But I'm probably just gonna do it for the hell of it. Where we got no power going to anything. Disconnected there. Now we can start taking this apart. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take off the belt. Well, at least I'm just gonna put it off to the side here so I can get the alternator out. So I'm just gonna put on a tensioner, pull it, and then yank it off. At least put it to the side. I got a 19 mil. I believe I gotta pull it towards me, so we'll see. What I'm also gonna do is once I get this on there, I'll put this other wrench on it so it gets some more leverage. And by doing that, all you gotta do is take the box end, the open end, I'm sorry, whatever you want to call this on this wrench, this side of the wrench, put it on here, and I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna lift towards the back of the car. So I'm gonna get this on there the best I can. You want it kind of towards you. If you put it way up here, you're gonna have nowhere to turn this. So first thing I'm gonna do is get down there. Okay, come on, get this over. I think it's definitely tight. Okay, let's put the belt off to the side. Get this wrench out of the way. Has some cracks in it. Not horrible though. Connect this guy. That one, you just squeeze this tab here. It's kind of stiff from sitting for 12 years, but push this tab in, that releases. There we go. So what you gotta do on this one, push it back here on this tab here, and that lifts this front part that goes over here. Goes with that little notch there, and that releases. That's the ticket. It's a 10 millimeter nut holding on this bracket. Little magnetic trays, you get them all different sizes, really go a long way, really help not losing the fasteners there. This loose, just got the top connection here. It's on there tight. It's 10 mil here, this top connection. Not lose that. That's your connection there. Put this off to the side. Now you got the bolts. You got one here. I think they're a 12 or 13. It's a 12 millimeter. That fits really good. You got one here, one down below here. That bolt is very close to the belt here too. So you kind of have to move the belt a little bit out of the way to do it. That's the bottom bolt. Top one is right over here. Okay, that's loose now, making sure everything is disconnected. Got that bottom belt, all electrical connections are off. Ready to pull this thing out once I get this bolt out. I'll clean up those threads before I put it back in. Show you guys. Here's the alternator. What I want to do is take off this heat shield too. You want to transfer that to the new one. There's a new one right here. Put it down here while I put that heat shield on. Pair of them now. Pretty close here. This size is a little bit different on here, a little bit smaller, not by much. So I'll just transfer the heat shield now. Thing transferred over, heat shield on, good to go. Ready to put this thing in. The bottom we pretty much can't even see. Snug. Deep 12mm sockets. Take a ticket here. Check it one more time. Make sure not to move. We're still tight. That's good. Good and tight now. It went about a quarter turn to half a turn once I got pretty snug. So we're good to go now. Now deciding if I want to change this belt or not. Okay, so decide I'm going to just do the belt. Well, I have the time to do it right now. I got the new belt, so take the wheel off, and you got this little cover right here. So you can see you got a tab here and a tab here. They sell a special tool for that. I don't have it, so I'm going to use a flathead. Gotta pop these out. That one came out okay. That one's able to pry out. This one almost there. Take a look at the belt. It does have some cracks in it. Nothing major, but if these do get worse, it could snap. But could have lasted longer. Yes. This is 12-year-old belt with over 160. 12-year-old belt with over 160,000. All right here, we got a hole right through it. Look at that. Yeah, this thing was definitely on the way out. So I'm gonna get the new belt, compare, and make sure they're about the same size before I go to put this thing in. Here's a new belt. It's an Apple one made by Gates, I believe. You can see the condition of this one's a lot better. The grooves aren't as deep. I guess that's what wears over time. They're about the same size. Old one is definitely more stretched out a little bit. Maybe like a quarter to 1/8 inch. We're good to go. Now getting it in, that's the fun part. That is the fun part here. So I'm gonna cross my fingers when I go to start this bad boy, but when I give it a couple cranks, see another video, you want to just do a couple cranks without starting it to make sure the belts are aligned. I'll do a couple cranks, take a look, make sure everything is still good, then I'll start it up. All I'm going to do is I'm not going to start it. I'm just going to give it a couple cranks. I'll put it down on the ground, then check it again. On the idler pulley, on all this, I think we're good to go. Okay, so I did 4 cranks. Should be good to go. Check it again on my alternator, on all the pulleys down here. AC, it's on. Crank, water pump, tensioner. Pretty much center on that tensioner. So we're good to go. I'll put the wheel back on, all that good stuff. Put this back together. As you just see, it's one piece that goes under here as well. All this connects here, so these should just be push-ons. It's in. It's in. Good to go. Put the wheel back on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the tools I use, what you really need to have and what's optional. So you definitely need to have a 19mm box wrench. This is like a standard size. If you could get a long or a serpentine belt, that even works better. Let's use that with another wrench, which is a 21mm, any size you got. Just long, you know, as long as it's long, will give it leverage because that tensioner is very, very tight. 1/4 inch ratchet, okay, 3/8 ratchet. You can use the long ones too, because it's pretty close in there, it's pretty tight, so if you have longer ones you get a little bit more leverage, but those worked out for me. You need a 12 mil deep socket, a short 12 mil, okay. Then you're going to need a 10 mil deep socket, 10 mil short socket. Then I use a 3/8 into a 10 mil to get some of that stuff off. Those really together good. Some flathead screwdrivers for those little prongs that hold on that splash shield, or if you have that special prong tool, it's like this, prise it off. Optional magnetic tray if you want. Now, I use these clamps by myself doing this, so I put the clamp on the bottom crank. This will hold the belt in place. I put one on the idler pulley to hold it in place, so those really came in handy. I use just little crimp snips here. You can say snips, whatever you want to call them, to cut off the little anchors for this part over here. For this part, so what I'm going to do is just probably zip tie this into place. It just holds it from bouncing around. That's pretty much all the tool I use. Also use some PB Blaster to get off some of those screws that are really corroded. So make sure you clean off good. You don't want that messing up the alternator. And that is really it for the most part. That's the tools you need to do the project. Also, since you're going to do the serpentine belt, if you are, you definitely have to have a jack. Pull the wheel off, all that stuff, jack stand, stuff like that you need to do. So hopefully that helps. We're all done, good to go, ready to roll. Another 160,000. I doubt this alternator will go that long. If I get 100,000, it'd be awesome. But the belt too, at least another, I would say at least another 5 years on this alternator and this belt. She drives about 15 to 20,000 a year. So we're planning on holding on to the car, I would say. But there you go. Alternator change, serpentine belt change. Everything is good to go. There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below and I'll answer them the next chance I have. Have a good one.